Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. All right, sitting out here with my buddy Chris Cerino, who is, I guess, the newest hire at Gun Talk Media Empire, because even as we speak, we're up in New England right now at the SIG Academy, but down there, they're moving into the new place, aren't they?
Yeah, I moved on the first day on Monday this week, and then I got to get out of there on Tuesday. So, yeah, I hope it's all done.
That's right. Don't go back until they say it's all done. Everything's moved in, right? So you might just give them kind of an idea of what Range Ready is and what you're going to be doing, how this is going to change Gun Talk.
Well, it's going to change everything for us because we're going to be able to run training classes. We're going to be able to shoot all our videos, our live fire videos. We can just pop out the back door. We can test fire guns. We can do anything we really want there. And it's 20 miles closer to my home.
You bought a farm.
Yeah. I got a nice place up in the hills. I'm at 180-foot elevation, so that's the hills in Louisiana.
Yeah, it is the high ground in Louisiana. And you got a tractor?
I do. I got a big Mahindra, and I got all the attachments, and it really makes life a lot easier for this older fella.
And you get to shoot, too.
I can shoot right from my back step. Yes, I have a shooting bench. I got a 200-yard range, and I'm good to go.
And the new place for Gun Talk, it's kind of, if you will, halfway between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and it's a media complex with a really world-class television studio with lots of video possibilities there, classrooms, headquarters, offices, edit suites for the video guys, even an indoor place where you can do some training, force-on-force stuff, not
Absolutely.
live fire, but with sims and that type of thing.
Yep.
And then outside, what do you got?
We got a 100-yard range, a 50-yard range, and we have a short range that can go back to 50, but for the most part, it's a 25-yard range, and we can. I'm gonna set that one up with steel. That's where we'll have all our fun, and I'm hoping that we can keep that stuff out there and we don't have any vandals.
So shooting guns and gear, shooting all your online videos, and you got a brand new show you're going to start shooting here just in a week or two.
Yes, actually, casting's done with that, and flights and hotels are scheduled for all the contestants on Buildbox, which is going to be airing on Outdoor Channel, and it's going to start in October. We're going to be filming that all of August, and we are super excited to do it because guys are going to come in, and it's going to be like guys' grocery games with guns.
So what are they going to do?
We're going to have 3 contestants, 3 judges, and we are going to give them a giant box full of parts, and we're going to tell them what we want to see, and they're going to build the guns, and we're going to do AR-15s. We're going to have the Glock clone guns, and we're going to do long-range hunters, modern long-range hunters, and this is the first season. So we've only got 6 episodes scheduled, but we are going to do as much as we can to make it interesting. We're going to have all the tools. Everything's ready. All these guys have to do is show up and then build us within the parameters of what we tell them we want, and then make it cool.
And there's a time limit.
Yeah, there's going to be a time limit set for that, and we're not disclosing what the time limit is yet because, honestly, we think we might be a little short on time. We might have to extend it. We're not sure.
Yeah. Well, you won't know until you start, really.
Yeah. When we film the first episode, we may have to say, listen, this isn't going to get done in 1 hour. We may have to up this to an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever, Right. Well,
it's going to be great. That'll start airing in October on Outdoor Channel. All right, so we're sitting out here. We're at the SIG Academy. They invited some media people in. They had the opening of the Experience Center, which is quite an amazing place. You have been to a lot of gun factories in your experience, in your career. What's your impression when you go through here and see what they're doing?
I truly am impressed with their operations. The fact that they're building, they're building all these different guns. So let's call one gun, like let's say the 365, that's a line. Mm-hmm. They're building like 700, 1,000, 1,200 guns in a day. And then times that by every gun that they're making. So all these people are in there, they're working their butts off. They've got all these different stations and bins and parts, and they're not focusing on one gun this week and one gun next week. They're building them all at the same time, Tom. Mm-hmm. And I'm blown away by that. I'm also blown away by their integration of robotics with the human being.
Yes.
The robotics will give you consistency and, very minimal errors. The humans are there to do so much more. I mean, they've got 3,000 employees, Tom.
Because people say, oh, well, they're putting in robots so they can replace the people. No, they're hiring. I mean, right now they said they have 400 slots open. And what was interesting to me is they said, didn't he say like a third of their employees are military veterans and former law enforcement?
Absolutely.
So they really have an emphasis on that. So if you're listening and you're former law enforcement or former military and you think you'd like to, they're hiring.
Yeah, if you want to work in the gun industry, this is the place to be because these folks here at SIG Sauer are ready to I mean, they're just going to conquer. They're not going to do any division. I was going to say divide and conquer, but man, they are just conquering everything. And you know, the thing is, I saw a machine and I asked the fella, I said, Jeff, I said, what is this machine doing? And this machine was just taking bar stock out, putting it into trays that go into machines for loading and cutting slides. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, you're looking at robotics and somebody could do that, but who's going to do that? And what do you pay them? You know, who's going to do that? Just sit there and sort out metal bars all day and just go from here to there.
That's the thing that's better done by a machine. There are other things you can do that are better done by people.
Yeah, they've got people on all the right places. Of course, there are assembly lines, and then they're checking, and they've got robots that run these guns through for function tests. And I mean, you can't expect to keep somebody sitting in front of a bench just racking slides and pressing triggers all day long. And I know to some of you out there, I mean, listen, everybody says, oh, there's no such thing as, too much cheating. Well, there is. There is such a thing as too much cheating. There is such a thing as too much handling of guns and then racking. And somebody comes up and starts asking questions, or you start talking about what you did last night.
They make a mistake of some sort.
But hey, they got the people. The people are there. They're doing their quick function tests, throwing it into a machine and going.
And think about this, something that most people never think about, and you've been in the gun business, they don't think about this, but from the time that thing becomes a firearm, according to ATF, that part has to be tracked wherever it moves on the floor. Yeah. It's crazy the amount of documentation they have to have at all times.
Yeah, the compliance officer is who walked us around today, and honestly, his hands are full. I'm totally not surprised that he's 28 years old and has completely white hair.
Not true, but he does have white hair.
I think he was lying about his age, but he does have white hair, and honestly, my hair would be white if I had that job.
When ATF comes in and does like a compliance check, they may be here with 20 people for 2 weeks, tearing things up.
I mean, we took pictures of boxes and stacks and pallets of guns. I mean, literally thousands and thousands. I mean, we're talking 100,000, 120,000 guns. And when the ATF comes in, he told us they had to actually literally unbox every single one of them.
Every gun in the building.
And match the serial number with the register with the box and then put it back.
So that's the kind of things that we don't think about. Say, well, what's the big deal? They're making guns. Yeah, there's so much more to it than that. And then, of course, they got the military contracts, and that all has to be made in a separate area that's quarantined off where other people can't get there. It's an impressive operation, but mostly it's a lot of fun. We got to shoot some of the pistols today. We actually got to shoot some things we can't quite talk about yet, but it's coming up pretty soon.
And then we're going to shoot more.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot more
Some of this stuff you have already shot, and you've already shot videos on, and Gun Talk, as soon as they give us a release date, they'll be able to see the videos on these.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, we shot some old classics today, too. I mean, let's talk about that 210 for just 1 second.
Is that got like the sweetest trigger in the world? It's just so nice.
I mean, it's like pulling your finger through pudding. It's like air, you're like nothing there. All of a sudden the gun goes off and the bullets go exactly where you're pointing at.
You know what was funny? We were at the range, and I'm shooting, and I'm going, I'm shooting a little bit off. And then you shoot the same gun, and you're shooting exactly the same place. You and I must see the iron sights the same way.
Well, there's no other way to see them other than aligned. I mean, equal spacing even across the top, and we make, you say, I made this sight picture, I say, okay, I'm going to shoot it and make the same sight picture. And the bullets go in the exact same spot, which means we know how to shoot, we know how to press the trigger, and now it's time to try a different ammo or move some sights.
Right, exactly. And if you don't
fun.
like what you're getting, change something. Assuming you can shoot small groups, because if you're all over the place, then it's not the gun, because these guns don't spray.
Yeah, no. If you can shoot a group, then you're justified in moving your sights as long as somebody else is shooting the same group. Because honestly, you could be shooting a fundamental error, and some people shoot with a fundamental error that is so consistent They would swear on their mother's life that the gun is messed up.
That's right. They shoot small groups, but not to the right place, and somebody else takes the same gun, and then they go and shoot, and all of a sudden the bullets are going where they're supposed to go. So you need to verify that.
It's cool that you and I shoot exactly the same. But you know what? You've been doing this a long time, and
you have too.
I've been trying to master it for a long time, so I was not surprised.
We're having a good time out here. Chris Cerino, as always, thanks for spending some time with us, man.